Hey guys, welcome to the Arzen channel, and today we got the RG280m in front of us. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, wow, this is very late, and Arzen, what are you doing? You should be reviewing the RG351p. Don't worry, it's coming in the mail, and yeah, we are going to review that one as well, but the prices on this one probably will go down, so keep your eyes peeled. It is a very high quality aluminum device like the RG350, but it's a slimmed down version, and we're going to take a look at it and see what it is, because it is an RG350 in a smaller form factor without an extra analog stick though. And there are some trade-offs, but we're going to check out if this device is good or not. So opening the box, we have the device itself nicely covered with a piece of foam on the top to protect the body. Let's just get the foam out of the way. And here we have the beautiful, gorgeous device. It's made out of full aluminum, and man, it is just a joy to look at. Let's just put this aside and see what we also have in the bottom compartment of the unboxing experience. We have a USB Type-C cable, of course, because it's USB Type-C. We're operating at the right age right now, not with the micro USB devices that sometimes pop up these days. RG280m user manual. I think this is a user manual, and we have a quick starter guide. I don't know why I have two. There are two user manuals in here, so a quick start guide and a user manual. So I'm not going to read them. We know how these devices work, and I will tell you enough about them that you don't need to read those manuals and stuff like that. So let's just get into the device itself and see how it is. Now, the device looks gorgeous and all. It has a tempered glass display, so they didn't apply a screen protector as far as I can see. But the bottom of the device has two QC stickers, and they're a pain to get off. So let me just take them off and tell you how painstaking it is after I do that. I got it off finally, and it was so irritating to get off, because every time you try to scratch it off, it gets into the crevices of the SD card, and it is really a pain to deal with. I hope in the next device, like the RG351p, they will not put any QC stickers on the SD card slot, because really it's a pain. Now let's talk about the ports and I/O. Here we have a USB Type-C port for charging, and we have another USB Type-C port for OTG. OTG being you can plug in Wi-Fi dongles and keyboards and stuff like that for developer stuff. It's not really going to be for your average consumer, because you just want to play games, and this is not really going to be used. But it is there anyways. So, and we have a 3.5mm audio jack to the top of the device. I would have preferred it to the bottom of the device, but this will do. And now let's switch to the bottom of the device and see that there are two SD card slots, one for internal and one for external. The internal one is for firmware and applications. You can put it on there, but the external is the one you're going to care about in case you want to transfer your ROMs from your PC over to this device. So transferring ROMs from your PC to this device is easy if you just plug in this SD card into your PC. This is 32 GB, and this one is 16 GB, by the way, in case you wanted to know. The reset button is recessed into the body, so it's not easy to press by mistake. You can insert your finger a little bit and then press it without a problem. Here we have a stereo speaker setup. The speakers sound very well as well. I've tested them out already, and they sound very crisp and clear. They don't get very loud, but it is still sufficient. To the right side of the device, we have the volume rocker, which is kind of an awkward position, because sometimes when I press the L and R buttons, my finger goes up like this, and I kind of rest against it, and I start to press it with my stem of my finger, as you can see. But, you know, it's just a kind of bad design choice in my opinion. To the other side, we have the power button. The power button can also be used as a menu button in Emulator, so if you press it one time, you can change the settings of the emulator or exit it, and that is how that works. Now, I might have to come clean and say that I have a problem with metal handhelds. I just love them way too much and keep buying them. So I'm going to be like a nerd, going to say that what I love about the build quality and stuff like that. Look at these edges, how they're cut. This is pure craftsmanship. Look at that. This is build quality to the max. And yeah, I just keep coming back to these metal handhelds because for certain emulators, it just feels way better in my hands, and I just want to have this weight as well because it's quite heavy, as you can hear. This is a heavy handheld. And the build quality, generally speaking, is just nothing to complain about. We have anti-slip pads on the back so it doesn't slip out of your hands. And we have buttons that are very well seated into the body. They don't rattle around, as you can hear. And yeah, it's just, the buttons are a dream to use. The analog stick is very great. The start and select, the shoulder buttons are nice and spaced out of each other, not that you're going to press them together at the same time or make those kinds of mistakes. They are great. The only slight issue and thing with this handheld is the power. So let's just talk about the hardware and specs right now. Compared to other handhelds, this device is kind of underperforming in terms of specs, but it still is a great device. And for the emulators you're going to need it for, this device might just be for you. This device here is part of the RG350 family, so it has the same CPU, the same RAM memory, the same battery capacity, and the same operating system. The thing is that it is a slimmed down and smaller version of the RG350M without the analog stick and HDMI capabilities. It has a smaller display, 2.8-inch IPS display with very vibrant colors and very nice viewing angles, and very crisp display because it has 320 by 480 resolution. And the thing about this device is that it is very good and very high quality, and everything is perfect about it for everything up until PlayStation 1. When it comes to N64, Dreamcast, and PlayStation Portable, this device is not capable of doing that, unlike the RK2020, which is capable of doing that but has a very low build quality compared to this device, a lot lower at least. When we compare it, it is just a very big difference. So if you like to play games up until PlayStation 1 and don't care about N64, Dreamcast, and PlayStation Portable, this device is for you. If you need to have N64, Dreamcast, and PlayStation Portable, you definitely have to sacrifice the build quality and stuff like that and go for another device. If you're not very familiar with this operating system, let's just have a brief overview. To the top here we have a couple of tabs, and we have games, settings, applications, and emulators. The emulators that are pre-installed on this device are working very well, I can guarantee that. But you can also add your own emulators if you wanted to once you pick up this device. We have MAME, DOSBox, Final Burn Alpha, NES, Beats of Rage, Genesis, Game Boy Color, Game Boy, WonderSwan, PlayStation 1, Mega Drive, Super Nintendo, NEOGEO, PC Engine, Game Boy Advance, NEOGEO Pocket, emulators out of the box. Now, we have also a games tab where we have games that are ported from different platforms over to this platform, and you can enjoy them like Quake 2, Quake 1, OpenJazz, Doom, and stuff like that. And the settings, we have a couple of settings, but the most important one is power off. But you would say, oh, but we can just power it off using the power off button over here, right? No, that will risk corrupting your SD card. Once it's turned on, you don't have to power it off using this button. You'll just have to power it off using the power off function in the settings, because that will avoid risking corrupting your SD card. It's just a precaution and very important. Applications, we have a couple of applications. The most important one over here is the Dingux Commander, where you can just transfer folders and files and move them over from one SD card to the other SD card. For example, the external SD card is readable by the PC. That's why you can just put your files on here. And if you want to transfer it to your internal SD card, which is not readable by the PC, you can just do that using this application. So that makes it easy. Let's just move on to some gameplay and then call it a day.
Now, if you're asking me about my verdict on this handheld, it is quite similar to the RG280m in terms of my verdict, because we are living in a time where N64 and PSP, Dreamcast, Nintendo DS emulation is quite possible on these types of handhelds, and they have been popping up quite a lot lately, and I'm looking forward to seeing what kinds of devices they will come up with. And most what I'm looking forward to is if there are more metal devices of those coming out. Of course, there are two of them right now that are metal, the RK2020 metal version and the ZPG Pro metal version, but I'm more interested in the RK2020 metal version right now. So I'm going to review that one soon as well, so stay tuned in case you want to see that video, and I'm going to compare it very closely to the RG350M and the 280M, because right now the pinnacle in build quality are these two devices, and there are no devices that are up to par with those in terms of build quality, controls, and the sound quality. So if you're the type of person that likes PS1 emulation and anything below that threshold in terms of emulation, and you don't care about the system that I mentioned earlier, then you are good with this device. You can pick it up and you will be satisfied with it. And the prices will probably drop soon, so you'll also save some money compared to the other ones. But if you want to have those systems that I mentioned earlier on the device that you want to pick up, then you'll probably have to go for a different system, even if you have to sacrifice the build quality in that process. But until we find a better handheld for a certain price in the future that has the same build quality as this one, we cannot say that anything goes beyond this handheld in those terms. But I hope we'll find one soon for a reasonable price, but until then, this device is very good for those types of purposes. And if you really just want to have N64, Dreamcast, and PlayStation Portable, then you should not probably go for this device. And if you don't care about those, then this device is awesome and very great choice for you. That is my verdict on this handheld, and that's that, guys. So I hope you liked the video. Stay tuned, like and subscribe, and say what you want in the comments down below in case you have anything to say, and I'll see you guys in the next video.